What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at this brand new 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe Sahara. Big shout out and thank you to Feeney, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram for providing this new hybrid for today's video. Take a look at their website, linked down below. Now this one is finished off in a new color called Earl. MSRP is around $63,000, so let's get right into it. Underneath the hood of the Wrangler 4xe, you're going to find a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder turbocharged motor equipped with a hybrid system. The engine itself pumps out 270 horsepower with 295 pound-feet of torque. However, when you combine the power with the electric motors, you're looking at a net horsepower at 375 with 470 pound-feet of torque. The engine is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Of course, this has a 4-wheel drive transfer case. Curb weight is around 5,100 pounds and it gets about 50 miles to the gallon. It runs on a 17.2 gallon fuel tank and it can even tow 3,500 pounds. Overall length is 188.4 inches with a wheelbase at 118.4. Width is 73.9 and height is 73.5 inches. For some off-road capabilities, approach angle is 42 degrees with breakover angle at 22 degrees. Ground clearance is 10 inches and departure angle is 35 degrees. And then since the 4xe is a plug-in hybrid, on the driver's side you can open up this door. It's going to open up and we get the plug system in here, which is a really convenient area for it. And then now moving on to the exterior styling with the 2023 Wrangler 4xe. This Earl color is really cool. It's kind of a pale seafoam green, so it definitely has a pretty unique look. You're of course going to see those round headlights right up in front, and we do get the LED package on them. And there's some silver trim around them, the traditional Jeep grille with the 7 bars, and you can also see more silver trim. On the fronts of these fenders you can see more LED lights, and then we get LED fog lights down below. This is a plastic bumper with some silver trim, and you're going to see the blue on these metal tow hooks. Really nice front end design, of course traditional for any Jeep Wrangler. And I like how you can also see the manual hooks on the side of the hood to release it. The hood also has some rubber bumpers on it, that way when you fold down the windshield, it has a safe place to rest. And this has a very traditional design for any Wrangler. Moving to the side, you can see these massive front fenders finished off in body color. And we also get a set of 20-inch wheels, finished in gloss black with a 5-spoke design. You can see a blue old school Jeep logo as well, and it really has a cool look. There's also a trim piece behind the front fender with a little bit of contour in the bodywork. We get Sahara, Jeep, and Wrangler with the American flag. Then you get a set of steps in the side. You can see all the exposed hinges for these doors, along with a set of black door handles and black mirror caps. There's also black trim around the windows and the black 3-piece removable hardtop. At the side profile, this has a very boxy look and it really looks good from all angles. There's one sharp line throughout the side profile as well. And as you make your way in back, you can see how wide the front and rear fender flares are, and I like how the Sahara gets them in body colored. And then in back, you're going to get a plastic bumper. Your trailer hitches down below with all the connections. You get another blue tow hook, a full-size spare right on the back, all your exposed hinges, the glass here as well with a third brake light up above that. And I think overall the Wrangler is still a fantastic looking off-road focused SUV, especially with the Sahara and this new color. And then moving on to Jeep's key fob, it looks pretty basic like you've seen for a few years. We do get remote start. We go ahead and lock the vehicle, hold down on the button, the 4-cylinder and hybrid system will turn on. You can hear it a little bit along with those LED taillights. And then just pressing the button again, we can shut it off. Keeping the key fob in my pocket, it does have the remote system where you just grab the handle, it'll unlock, and we can check out this interior. So this one gets a black leather interior, pretty simple in here with a little bit of silver trim along with white stitching. The door panel is finished off in black. You can see the white stitching, a little bit of padding for your armrest, a grab handle on top as well as below it to make it easier to remove these doors. We get a little bit of storage down below that, lock, unlock, mirror controls, as well as the release handle. We get all manual controls on the left side of the seat with some white stitching and a really nice pattern. Pretty simple overall. You get Sahara stitched up in top, and then spinning around we get a 3-spoke steering wheel with silver trim and white stitching. And then now inside the Wrangler 4xe, keep my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. Takes a second for everything to turn on. You can see Sahara as well as the old school Jeep fading to the new one. And then taking a look at the gauge cluster, on this far right side you're able to see the power percentage as well as your fuel. Then we have engine temperature and tach on the left. We get a digital speed readout right in the center, and you can configure that using this control panel. So if I go ahead and scroll down once, you can scroll left and right in this page and see all sorts of different information within the vehicle. You can continue down, seeing some off-road settings like your drivetrain as well as pitch and roll. We also have fuel economy information, hybrid information itself. You can scroll left and right for here. And of course you can just keep scrolling down and see all sorts of different information within the vehicle. Taking a look at the steering wheel, we get your Jeep badge, some Bluetooth and audio controls on the left, cruise control settings on the right, and on the back side of the steering wheel there are some buttons for volume as well as track. On the far right side we have all the windshield wiper controls, turn signals on the left, and then to the left of the steering wheel you can see your headlight indicator, and then your fuel, and then you can see the hybrid, electric, or e-save. If you tap this, the whole vehicle will go into an EV mode, so it's cool to be able to configure all that. We get a really cool leather design running across the entire dashboard, a little bit of storage space up in front, and I really like how the airbag cover also has the same leather and stitching. Moving to the 8.4-inch touchscreen, you can see all of our climate controls right now. You can tap this one right here, you can go into your heated seats and steering wheel, you can view the backup camera as well, and then exit out of there. You can also scroll through the bottom, see all your shortcuts for Sirius XM, back to that control. We have different apps that are going to come up as well. You can scroll left and right to see everything here. If we go into the off-road pages now, that'll pop up. You can see some steering angle information, all your transfer case as well as your coordinates. You have accessory gauges to monitor more things, and then we have a pretty cool pitch and roll meter. If I go ahead and exit out of here and scroll over, if we go into the hybrid electric now, you can see some of the information for how the hybrid system is working. We have the driving history along with the charging, and then into the e-save. So I like how much information you're able to see in this vehicle. Of course, we get your full navigation system, phone integration, and then as well as all of your settings. And of course, when you put it into reverse, that backup camera is going to automatically pop up. Underneath the screen now, we have some physical climate controls. You can see the fan speed, auto and on-off right in the center. We also have your dual zone temperature control. It will come up on the screen whenever you make a change. Heated seats and steering wheel, as well as the defrost. We have volume on the left, some tuning and scrolling on the right, recirc and air conditioning. You have a downhill assist, traction control, then tapping this icon right here, that's your regenerative braking. So I like how you're able to turn that on and off. We have a 12 volt down below, along with all of your window controls. You can open up this side as well, you get a few more auxiliaries, and then down below that we have some extra auxiliaries if you want to add winches or lights. There's a little bit of storage space. Four-wheel drive transfer case has a pretty cool manual shift select. We have all your gear indicators with the manual mode and that old school Jeep up on top. We have some more silver trim, manual parking brake, along with some storage as well as a slot in the center. You can see more of this black leather material. If I press the upper button, we get a good amount of storage space up and top, and then grabbing the bottom lever, you can see even more storage space. And then moving to the glove box now, we have a pretty decent sized box in here. One last look at the interior, pretty much unchanged for all the JL generation. However, the Sahara is pretty nice with all the leather accents all throughout it. Taking a look at the roof now, you can see how the underside is finished. We have some speakers back here, and then you have all of your release handles to remove the front section of this roof. Up in front, you see a few buttons and then a frameless mirror. And then moving on to the rear seat space, if I grab the door handle and open it up, door panel's finished off just like we saw up front, even with a nice cargo net. And then in back, you're going to see all the same black leather with some white stitching all throughout. You can seat 3 people back here. We do get some storage cubbies on the back side of both front seats. Then we get air vents down here, window controls, USB ports, and a plug, and then just a little bit of storage. You can grab the bases of these seats and lift them up really just to take a look at part of the battery pack. Both seats are going to open up like that using these straps in the back. So the 4Xe doesn't really have any extra storage under the seats like a normal Wrangler is going to have. But from here, these headrests do fold down. You just pull this lever just a little bit, they're going to get out of the way for better driver visibility. And I like how right in the center, if we pull this down, we get a pretty good armrest with 2 cup holders. Alright, so sitting now in the back seat of the Wrangler 4xe, so I'm 5'11". I have pretty good headroom. There's several inches above my head. You do have these speakers right in front of you, which is pretty cool if you want to hear some good music. And then there is quite a lot of visibility with all the glass. You can see how you can see into this third window. It's a little cramped in here. You know, the seats don't really recline crazy much or anything. They're at a decent angle. And knee room and leg room with the driver's seat set at my height is pretty decent as well. Pretty decent armrest. You know, not crazy big SUV in here. However, it's certainly doable for 3 people in the back. And then moving on to the rear cargo area, I can just grab this handle, pull the swing gate open. You can also see some cool information on the back here about the specifications for the JL. And then from here, you just manually grab the glass, lift that up, and we get all the cargo area. We have a few accessories in here right now for some charging cables, roof storage, and things like that. And then with the bases of these seats folded upwards, you can just grab these levers and get these seats down and out of the way. They're gonna fold down nice and flat to give you quite a lot of storage space. You're also gonna see a massive Alpine sub back here and part of the roll cage system within the vehicle. So overall, pretty decently practical SUV. Then you just manually grab the glass down and we can swing the gate closed. All right, so we are setting off now in the 4xe Jeep Wrangler Sahara. So it is cool when you do drive this in full electric mode. It won't let me do it right now. It's doing an oil and fuel refresh or something like that. But it is pretty neat driving it around in EV mode because it just feels like you're in like a little RC car. So I like that aspect, how you get that kind of best of both worlds. You can drive it, you know, just around your parking lots or, you know, maybe your neighborhood or something in EV mode. With that said, we're in just normal hybrid mode. So we got the turbo motor and of course the hybrid system, giving it some throttle. It is pretty darn peppy. I mean, you get going up to speed pretty much effortless. Now, the biggest drawback, there's a lot of wind noise. Now, it is a really windy day out, freezing cold outside. You can probably hear the wind noise. It's a little rough around the edges to drive this on freeways and higher speed. You do get a really good view out. Visibility is fantastic out of the front. I love it. You can see the entire hood, and you can even see your fender flare, so you can kind of easily place this, of course, when you're off-roading. Mirrors all do a pretty good job, and over your left and right shoulder, pretty much no blind spots. Really easy to see around in an SUV like this. And of course, once you take your doors and roof off, I mean, you just got miles of headroom, and it's just a really cool vibe in a Wrangler. Some normal driving, you know, the seats are decently comfortable. I wouldn't say they are the best. There's a lot of sacrifices, honestly, to own a Wrangler. They're not the most comfortable on-road. The steering and handling is pretty bad. They're very vague. Definitely a rough around the edges type of vehicle to pilot on-road. However, we know these Wranglers are absolutely fantastic off-road with these solid axles, of course the four-wheel drive, low range, things like that. I mean, this is a vehicle that can just go anywhere, and you still get enough amenities on the interior to make it feel like a normal vehicle. I mean, it's not obviously like a Grand Cherokee or a 4Runner or something like that. However, it still gives you quite a lot. Hopefully, let's go into EV mode. Still unavailable, so I'm still getting used to these plug-in hybrids. We do have 11 miles of range though, as of right now. The e-save mode saves battery for later use apparently, but you know, it's cool how you can monitor quite a few things. And I think the hybrid is a pretty neat design because you get a lot of power out of it, really good efficiency, and it's not really too much more than just your normal Sahara. So it's a pretty cool blend. All right, so spinning around to my honest thoughts perspective of what it's really like driving one of these, I think it's pretty cool. I think the 4xe is a cool way to introduce the hybrid technology into something that is pretty hardcore. I mean, a Wrangler, you know, you don't accidentally buy a Wrangler. You're buying one of these because you're gonna be off-roading, you're gonna have that adventurous lifestyle and just doing some fun things off of the pavement. There are some sacrifices, of course, just with a Wrangler in general. I mean, it's not that comfortable, it's kind of noisy, it doesn't drive that good. I mean, this is not an on-road vehicle. It's decent enough. But with the hybrid system, I really like hybrids, honestly. I'm a big fan. I think it gives you the best of both worlds. I don't think electric vehicles, fully electric vehicles, are even remotely close to being practical. This gives you the practicality of a normal vehicle, but you get the benefits of the EV system when it works. I'm not really too sure why half the time it doesn't really let you drive it in EV mode. We do have 45% charge, but these plug-in hybrids aren't the same as an EV. However, it's cool to have the power, the torque, and things like that, and the efficiency. you know, when you give it some gas, it's pretty darn peppy, not even getting up there in the revs. This thing moves, and it is a nice place to just kind of play around with. And we took a 4xe Grand Cherokee off-roading actually, and what surprised me the most was with the hybrid system, you have that low-end torque, that instant power, to where you can just get up to speed so quickly and have the torque to crawl over items at slow speeds. You know, we were using it and crawling over just big rocks and things like that, and you just have that instant power, like right there. I don't think the gas engine really kicked on until we were going about 20 miles per hour just in the hybrid mode right now, and it allows you to have more control when off-roading, so I really like it. I think the diesel engine also is a pretty cool touch, but the EV power, there's something about that to get that instant 0 RPM full amount of torque, and I think that's a really big plus. Now $63,000 is quite a lot of money. You know, a Wrangler back in the day used to be like 30 grand for a fun off-roader. Now it's a pretty expensive toy, especially getting the hybrid version of it. Is it worth the price? I mean, technically, yeah, it is, just because that's kind of the market in today's world, and a fancy hybrid, they're not cheap. You know, this is still pretty new technology. It's starting to become more and more mainstream. So if you want to get, you know, the best off-road SUV out there, and you want a cool hybrid system that the modern cars are going to have, I mean, you kind of got to pay to play to have something like this. I think it is a pretty cool vehicle. The only downfalls are you really are sacrificing quite a lot of on-road characteristics. I mean, you can hear the wind noise in it. I'm only going 40 miles per hour, and this road is nice and smooth. So there are some drawbacks. However, as I hit a few bumps of snow in the road, do a little bit of off-roading, I mean, that's where this shines, and obviously this thing can do quite a lot. Last time, nope, still no EV mode. But overall, you know, I think this is a pretty fun vehicle to play with. And the power you get with the EV is something that the Wranglers are missing. They're kind of slow when you just get the basic V6. So I think it's a pretty cool touch. This is my first time actually driving in the Wrangler 4xe, and I think it is a cool vehicle if you're going to be around town, roof off, doors off, just playing with it. You know, you want to have that good efficiency, good power, and just something that's pretty unique. This is something to take a look at. Nothing competes with this as of right now. Still nothing competes with the Wrangler, especially the 4xe. It'd be cool to see a Ford Bronco electric version like this. That'd be kind of neat. But anyways, that is the 2023 Earl colored 4xe Wrangler. I think this color is fantastic. It's a really cool pale seafoam green. I think it's really neat looking. Definitely a cool SUV. Big shout out and thank you once again to Feeney, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram for providing this vehicle for today's video. Take a look at their website, linked down below. They have a huge selection of brand new Jeeps, so check them out. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next video.